Hi, this is Austin Parsons, Pitmaster with Smoky Mountain Q in Nashville, Tennessee, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
Hey, welcome to the Thursday show. Just like that, it's Thursday, but it's still Monday. But it is the Thursday show. Hopefully you enjoyed Robert Moss yesterday, and you're getting ready for some quarterly cigar talk. I'm bringing you folks along. I've had plenty of you folks email me, go, I've never smoked a cigar in my life. But that Mr. Jonathan, he teaches me something every time. It's like you're telling me, I want to hate this shit, but I just can't. You won't let me hate it. You're providing too good of content. So now I have to at least listen and like it and be entertained, and you might be pushing me to become a cigar smoker, and why not? So, without any further ado, we race to the hotline and welcome in our quarterly cigar expert from the Cigar Authorities podcast and Two Guys Cigars, Mr. J. And there he is, and a new background, and wow, I mean, you're becoming a technical maven.
I tried to step it up. I'm not going to lie.
Well, trying accomplished. Let's say that. You got a nice situation with the TV going on there behind your back left shoulder, so I appreciate the effort, certainly. So we don't have a YouTube poll question of the week since we're not live tonight and we can't get that real feedback, but we're trying out what I might do, not in lieu of the poll question of the week, but the would you rather question of the week. And we're going to ask you this, Mr. J. Would you rather be able to record your thoughts or your dreams while you sleep?
Ooh. I think I would rather record my dreams.
All right.
So I could have something out in the distance to be able to focus on.
So our guests are 50-50 split, and if you include your humble host, we are 66% saying we'd rather record our thoughts, because I always have great thoughts that I never remember in the next day, and I'm not much of a dreamer guy, so and certainly ones I can't remember, so I don't think I'm really missing out on anything, but I always feel like I might be missing out on if I have a real thought, I want to at least be able to figure out if that's good or bad. I don't want to lose it.
I mostly find out that my thoughts are bad while I'm sleeping because I have a journal by my bed, so I write down shit in the middle of the night, and I had this crazy idea for a Four Horsemen cigar. And I even went as far as to start designing it while I was dreaming. And I woke up and I saw my note and I sat down in my cigar lounge here and started sort of mocking stuff up at 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And by the time 6:30 rolled around, I realized it's a stupid idea.
Why was it stupid?
I'll text you the mock-ups, then you'll say, all right.
Yeah, but I mean, you could always change artwork or logos, or I mean, to me, now remember, let me qualify anything I'm about to say about cigars as saying I'm definitely no expert and do not take my advice. However, it would seem you have a lot of good foundation underneath you where you could potentially launch a Four Horsemen cigar, whatever you want to call it, and have a lot of the key pieces already nailed down short of logos or artwork.
I could. The issue was that I had watched the video of the Highwaymen and they were singing Ghost Riders in the Sky. And that turns out that created the sort of the dreamy idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm the only person that smokes cigars that's really into them. So as I mean, I'm into the Highwayman. I love that shit, but as I'm looking at it and thinking about it, do you end up with 4 different cigars, 4 different bands? I mean, the folks at Drew Estate through their, I'm drawing a blank. It's there's some Mexican holiday or something they're touting right now, but they have 8 different colors or 10 different colors on the bands, and the project is an abysmal failure, and the rest of that line is a complete success. People don't like different inside of the same box. So I don't know. I felt like I was striking out.
What's smoking well in the shop right now?
Well, we had been out of Garofalo Maduro for a while, and I was nervous because sometimes when a new batch of stuff comes in, and even though it's Perdomo, I still get nervous. I was afraid maybe it was going to come in and be subpar. I think this batch is better than the first batch.
Nick, I would never say that about you, by the way. I would never worry about subpar product coming from Nick Perdomo or any of the Nick Perdomos.
There's a lot of Nick Perdomos, but
yes.
It's not that I worry about Nick Perdomo. I just worry about the shit just comes in different sometimes.
Yeah, sure. It's a crop.
So, but it's Perdomo, and I should just know better. And they're smoking like fire. His legacy, by the way, we're on the 3rd batch, and easily our 5th order, and just crushing.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it.
Go ahead.
And I know, so what I've come to learn is that over the lifespan of the show, about 20 years now, I am in the vast minority of most things. So, big fan of Perdomo Champagne, big fan of 10th Anniversary Maduro, former Cigar of the Year from Cigar Authority, bourbon barrel aged, most stuff, sun grown. I found the 30th anniversary to be horrifically average. Like enough for me to go, I had 3 or 4 and it was right about the same through different shades. And I was like, It was kind of a miss for me. And that's a bit of a shock for Perdomo. But again, obviously I'm in the minority here.
You're not, because hardcore Perdomo smokers do not dig on the 30th. The 30th is the gateway for people coming from other brands, and it's more muted. It's a little more subtle.
Yeah.
And so if you're used to that aggressive Perdomo in-your-face flavor, you're going to be disappointed with the 30th. Now, the legacy is a little more nuanced, but it still has that in-your-face aggressive Perdomo essence, just a little softer. I think the 30th went way softer, but it drew a lot of non-Perdomo smokers in, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want to do, right? I mean, you want to convert people to your brand, and if you can do it, as you said, with that gateway cigar to get you in, then, I mean, you have a host 100%. Of a portfolio to start smoking through as well. So this is the last appearance of 2025, a stellar year of cigar content from our pal, Mr. J, which we thank you for. And now, of course, we are nearing, if not in the holiday season. That means gift giving. So let's hit some cigar buying basics, especially if we are buying for others. So before I run you through the question gauntlet, I'm wondering this, to your knowledge, and you are my beacon of knowledge when it comes to cigars. Is the holiday season one that creates new cigar smokers?
I'm going to say yes and no. So if somebody's not a cigar smoker, do not go out and buy them cigars. That's not.
You're not going to get them into it all by yourself.
not by giving them a gift of a cigar. But what I do find is during the holiday season, families getting together, and you've got dads that are into cigars and sons that aren't, and vice versa. And they will get together and have a lot of first moments around a cigar. So I do see new sons and new dads and new grandfathers and new uncles coming together and sort of getting it around the allure of the lit tobacco for flavor. So it does happen. You do end up with a handful of new cigar smokers, but the holiday season is not the time to create cigar smokers. Really, that happens late spring rather, early summer. Golf season kicks off, and somebody tries their first cigar on a golf course, and they get hooked.
Is that where you get most cigar smokers? Is it golf? Or is it because you still have a family member that smokes cigars, which is probably a dying breed in its own?
That part is a dying breed, but the cigar season, as it starts at the end of spring, early summer, that's when you start to see people be introduced to the product, and hopefully the person that introduces them does it the right way, getting them something that's mild to medium, that has a good flavor, that doesn't stick on their palate for the next 6 days, because that's a turnoff to non-smokers. I like it, but long finish, not great for new people.
I'm gonna circle back on that after we get through the gift stuff here, because I have a question on that, and hopefully I'll remember. Okay, can you blindly buy a cigar without knowing the smoker in your life?
You can. So if you know a couple of things about them, how do they like their beer? Do they like full-bodied beers? Do they like mild beers? Are they a Coors Light drinker? Bottles, cans? Do they like wine, white wine, red wine? Do they like spicy foods, mild foods, beef, chicken? With just knowing a little bit about them, how do they take their coffee? Is it black? Is it sweet with cream? With just a little bit of information about their lifestyle, we can take a very educated guess about the kind of cigar they like.
Does price always equate to quality? In other words, the $3 cigar will never be as good as the $20 cigar, and that will never be as good as the $100 cigar, and so on.
So the $100 cigar is complete bullshit. If you're paying $100 for a cigar or more, unless that is a collectible item with a paper trail, Partagas 150, unopened box with the tax stamp on it, and you're paying $100 per cigar, and there's 10 cigars in individual coffins that have never been touched, then okay, you're adding to your collection, $100, fine. If by and large, unless you're dealing with shaped cigars or old tobacco that you know of, or there's a $75 cigar out there put out by Selected Tobacco, the Byron Lyricos. It's $75. It's a 3-hour smoke. It's 9.5 inches long.
Whoa.
It's 60 ring gauge at its thickest point. It's a double figurado. It's been aged for 4 years in cedar. It's 5-year-old tobacco. It's finished in virgin French oak. Is it a cigar I'm going to smoke all the time? No. But if I want a cigar for an occasion that I have 3 hours to set aside for, a birthday, Christmas, New Year's, where I'm getting together with the guys, yes, worth $75 all day. But by and large, if you're looking to get a really good value for the money, $40 is about the real price point. You can get something exceptional for $40 to blow someone's doors off, as far as flavor, as far as not having ammonia, well-aged, just rich tobacco nuance. $40 is about where it maxes out, and there's reasons to maybe creep a touch more than that, but there's so few and far between. But that's the benchmark. If you're spending $40 for a cigar, you've kind of reached the pinnacle.
So if you're going above that, any additional greatness
there
is going
needs
to
to be a
marginal.
compelling reason. Yeah, it needs to be a compelling reason to go above that.
Best cigar for the beginner.
You want to be in the mild to medium as far as the nicotine, the amount of nicotine it's delivering to the palate, and you want something with a short finish, something that's not going to be lingering. So you actually want well-aged tobacco for a beginner, because you don't want that person to remember they smoked a cigar 3 days from now. You kind of want that to go away so that any of the negative parts of cigar smoking kind of dissipate. So a beginner is the time, I think, that you spend $20 and you get something really good that has a lot of age on the tobacco itself and a shorter finish. So mild to medium. Diamond Crown has some great products that fall in that price point. Bandolero, even Red Anchor, the smaller sizes of Red Anchor are $20. Those are all well-aged tobacco that have shorter finishes, that the cigar smoker is not going to be smoking that cigar for 3 days.
Best cigar for the intermediate.
Now you can start getting into longer finish. So you could easily get it dropped down into the $15 range. And I know it seems counterintuitive. You would think that the longer someone's been smoking cigars, the more expensive that you'd want to get. But someone that's in that intermediate range, they can handle a longer finish, and that's going to come with a lower price point. So you're in the $12 range at that point, and you get more cigars than what you think you wanted to get. So maybe let's say you're going to spend $100. You're going to spend $100 on a beginner. You're going to get 5 cigars. You're going to spend $100 on an intermediate smoker. Give them 10 cigars. Give them a reason to be able to light up over and over and think of you.
Best cigar for the Passionado.
Now you're talking like Dave talks about the McAuliffe effect. So a $9 cigar that punches well above its weight class. And that's somebody that really is into cigars. You get them a box of McAuliffe Black and you rock their world, or a box of Abuelo. You're in that $200 range for a box, and you're delivering some exceptional flavor and longer finish, and something that somebody can really think about you for 20 or 25 times when they light them up.
Best cigar to buy someone to show you're a baller or a douche.
Now listen, I sell cigars for a living, so I object to the
only
douche
baller.
part, but,
only baller.
Okay. If you really want to impress somebody, my favorite cigar of all time, and if I wasn't so rushed to get to the show, I just taught a swing class, I probably would have lit one up, because I just finished my smoking room and I've been looking for a reason to celebrate, and being on your show would be just that reason. The Byron 1850 Grand Bouquet. It's $65. It's a double Figurado. It's 4 years of age on the rolled cigar. It's aged in cedar, 5 different varieties of cedar. It's finished in virgin French oak, the same oak that matures Chateau Lafite Rothschild. It's 5-year-old tobacco making the cigar up. That cigar is the best cigar I've ever smoked in my life ever.
Wow.
So if you want to really show somebody that you know your shit about cigars, you buy one of those for $65 in a non-tax state. That's baller.
Before we get to some of the other questions here, let me revisit this because I'm still thinking about it, and you've kept it on my mind because you've talked about finishes. So if you have somebody that's new or, a little bit past new, and one of their chief complaints about cigar smoking is, I wake up and it's still there the next day or for 2 days, or it tastes, when they're done, that's the off-putting part. They enjoyed smoking it, I guess, for the most part, but they're suffering now for hours and hours after the fact. Like, what has gone wrong, if anything, during the smoking process, and what can you do post-smoking process?
All right. So it's actually amazing to me that the beginners don't, unfortunately, there isn't enough education when it comes to bringing beginners into the game, because beginners really should be smoking less often and more expensive, because more expensive is going to yield more aged tobacco and less of that long finish. Longer finish cigars tend to be higher primings, much stronger, and much younger tobacco. So if you get them into more aged tobaccos, they'll have a shorter finish. And for anybody that, especially beginners, do this all the time. They look for what they perceive as a bargain. So, can you get a cigar for $5 that will burn and draw? Sure, but that now you're smoking that cigar for the next 3 days. And if you're smoking a cigar a week and you want to smoke it and be done, yeah, you want to spend $20, $25, get something good, and then be done with it. But if you mess up and you get something younger and you don't know any better, or your tobacconist doesn't know any better and they don't know to direct you to the right thing, you can mix a 50-50 mix of hydrogen peroxide and regular filtered water. Along with, you can add oregano oil if you want. You can add clove oil to it. You can add black seed oil, which is the best. Shake it up and swish that around while you're in the shower for 5 minutes. That'll clean your palate completely off, and it's like hitting reset. Which, by the way, I ran this by my dentist.
Yeah.
And my dentist said that I should patent the mixture.
So it was hydrogen peroxide, filtered water, black seed oil.
Black seed oil, those three right there. And black seed oil, it's not a third. It's half, and then you pour maybe 2 capfuls of black seed oil into a mason jar with that hydrogen peroxide and water. Shake it up, swish it around. Black seed oil is kind of gross tasting. That's why I add the clove oil to it. But man, does it clean your teeth. It gets the tar off the back. It gets the flavors off your tongue. When you're done that, your palate is crisp.
You going to market that? I have to imagine you've mentioned that to Dave at some point.
I really don't want to get into the mouthwash space. There's a lot of nonsense that you got to fight in the. It took me 3 visits to my dentist to convince him that he was an idiot and that he was reading information about cigarettes when he was telling me that smoking cigars was bad for my teeth.
Yeah.
Because when I finally got him to admit that putting alkalinic things in your mouth is not only not caustic, it's beneficial. And then I said, well, cigars are alkalinic, and I gave him the study, monograph number 9. You can look it up. Yeah. You gotta skip through the bullshit opinion piece they allow people to write. It's called a forward. The scientists that are being paid to yield a specific result are allowed to write these opinion pieces at the beginning of studies. Go past that, go into the actual study, go into the conclusions, and under one of the charts, it says that because of the alkalinic nature of the tobacco, that the nicotine delivery is severely reduced compared to cigarettes. And thereby the health negatives are also reduced. And they word it in such a way that it still sounds bad, but the reality is if you look at the conclusions on the study, you are less likely to get COPD, lung cancer, and coronary heart disease if you smoke 1 to 2 cigars a day than if you were a non-smoker. It's there in black and white. I'm not making it up. You can read the study. It's 750 pages long. I've gone through it 3 times. And you can read the whole thing like I did, or you can just skip to the conclusion and look at the charts, and it clearly lays it out.
Best lighter to gift someone.
My favorite gift lighter, it's about $60. It's we call it the steampunk. And if you could just Google steampunk lighter, it'll come up. But the official name by Lotus is the Winston. And it's got this really cool action, and it looks old school. You slide the lever down, the lid pops open, 4 jets come alive, fueled by the patented Vertigo big ass tank. And easy adjustment at the bottom. Is this a commercial?
Wow, I feel like I'm on the Cigar Authority.
The top doubles as a cigar rest. The thing's badass.
Wow. If
you were going to spend, let's say, $100 on a cigar smoker, you get them that lighter and a $30 cigar, $40 cigar, and they are going to be in heaven forever.
Best cutter to gift.
See, I happen to have it right here.
What?
This is the Colibri SV cutter.
Yep.
You got a V cutter on one side, a straight cutter on the other.
Oh, wow.
And the best part about this cutter is when you're making the cut in the car, the second blade closes behind, so you lock the cap inside the cutter. You dump that cap when you're ready to dump it. It's awesome.
How much is that?
This is the best cutter on the market. They're $90.
$90, and it's
$90.
deep V and a straight cut.
And a straight cut.
Wow.
German steel blade. I've had this cutter. I mean, the finish. I've had this cutter for 13 years. The finish is worn off of the top and bottom.
Yeah.
And it's as sharp as the day I bought it.
Wow. All right, so do you have a hot take on, are you using only one side of that cutter most of the time, or does it matter?
No, because I work in retail and I wear my two guys vest, so I cut every customer who doesn't own a cutter's cigars, which is about 50% of them apparently.
What do you prefer cut-wise?
So I prefer a straight cut if I'm smoking by myself. If a lot of us in the shop, we end up smoking a lot of the same stuff. So if I'm lighting up at the same time one of my compadres is lighting up, I will V-cut mine so I can see which one's mine in the ashtrays. But the best smoking experience is going to come from a straight cut, bar none.
Best cigar gift to buy that no one ever thinks of?
Car ashtray. Everybody that smokes cigars eventually is going to smoke in their car. And if you don't smoke in your car because you're afraid of the smell, I'm going to teach you a trick right now. If you have 4 windows and you crack the driver's window 1 inch and the passenger rear window 1 inch, the smoke will not stay in the car. It'll be sucked out the driver's window. You could have your wife next to you or your husband. If you're a lady cigar smoker and a barbecuer, fanatic, and you're listening to this show, I'm not judging, but whoever's sitting next to you that's not a cigar smoker will not even smell the cigar as you're driving. You get to a stop, you got to have to open the window more. But while you're driving, that window is going to suck that smoke out with just 1 inch gap, and the back passenger window 1 inch gap. It's killer.
So I learned that from Mr. J years ago on the Cigar Authority, and I've found really the only place that I can enjoy a cigar is what I call in the mobile lounge. And I employ so I go a little further down on both windows, but I have also found as long as you've matched how far they are down, that negative pressure is really what you're going for, as long as that's even.
Correct.
Smoke gets pulled out, fresh air exchange, and nobody gets, unless everybody's just being infinitely nice, nobody has ever gotten in my car and said, "Did you just smoke a cigar in here?" Nobody says anything, and it works really well. I do not have a cigar ashtray, though. I actually will tip it onto the window and kick the unlit portion off, hoping I never also accidentally kick the ember off, which has happened every so often. But I found a way to finagle that and not lose it.
Yeah, so even you, if somebody were going to buy you a gift, they should get you a car ashtray, something that has a lid that you can encapsulate that ash. And then, so even in a, like I have my smoking room, and if I have more than just myself, I will not just crack windows, but I put a fan in the window blowing out. And on the other side of the room, while I'm listening to the fan, I lower the window. And when I hear the fan change its tune, then I know to back the window off just a little bit so that I have true negative pressure in the room. Now, if I open the slider that's behind me going into the kitchen, I can feel a rush of fresh air coming at my face because the room is in negative pressure. And that's really what you're trying to do. Anytime you're trying to mitigate smoke is create negative pressure, not positive pressure. Positive pressure is going to push the smoke where you don't want it. Negative pressure is how you control the smoke to go where you want it to go, which is out.
All right, let's do the abbreviated Cuban talk here, because whenever I tell people I'm into smoking cigars, quickly everybody's regaling me of this great Cuban score that they had. I think I told the story last time I was in the Bahamas. In the casino or just outside the casino, there's a big humidor, some ladies selling cigars. All Cubans, which happen to be wrapped in cellophane, all those Cubans happen to be wrapped in cellophane. I said, those are all fake. And she said, no, those are all real. And I said, okay, well, we're going to agree to disagree. I'm never buying a cigar here, but I know they're fake. And I left. So let's do the abbreviated Cuban. Are they worth gifting or not? And potential pitfalls of such an endeavor.
So Cuban cigars, if you buy the cheapest front mark, which when I was in Cuba in 2016, it was $8.50 American. It was Hoyo de Monterrey, just stock Hoyo de Monterrey, $8.50 for a Robusto, 5x50. That cigar now, because China owns distribution for Cuban cigars globally, they looked at Hong Kong pricing. They matched Hong Kong pricing for the globe. So that cigar is $35 to $38 in a non-tax country. And it's going to go up from there. You can't get that for less than $100 in Canada right now.
Wow.
So if you're paying less than $35 for a Cuban cigar, it's not real. If it has cellophane, it's not real. If it's in a glass top box, it's not real. If you bought it in the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, Mexico, any country that produces cigars, and especially if you spent less than $35, but even if you did, if you got everything right, it's not in cellophane, it's not in a glass top box, it's $35 and it's a Hoyo de Monterrey and you're buying it on a beach, it's fake. If you're in a Casa del Habanos, you're not going to get the $35 one. They're going to have more expensive ones. So you need to be in the right shop, which is Casa del Habano, and the price has to be right. And even then, because China's getting between 90 and 95% of the production out of Cuba, which is only 80 million.
Wow.
To put that into perspective, the U.S. imported last year 430 million cigars. It was 68% of the world's consumption of imports.
Wow.
For cigars. The rest of the world splits the rest of the cigars up, and Cuba's only 80 million. Most cigar stores in the world that say they're selling Cuban cigars can't afford to buy them, and they're selling fakes.
Yeah. Wow. So stick with the big three and be happier and have a better product and a better smoking experience and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other holiday tips or suggestions?
Listen, if you're buying gifts for somebody that you know is a cigar smoker, go in and talk to your tobacconist and find somebody that's sharp, because the first person you talk to may not be sharp, but find somebody in a cigar store that's sharp. If you can't find somebody, go to another cigar store. There's those of us out there, but find somebody that's going to ask the questions and learn about the person that you're buying cigars for, because those questions that I was talking about before, even the difference between beef and chicken, you go to a restaurant, does the guy order beef or does he order chicken? That's going to tell me, does he like a longer finish? Does he like a shorter finish? Because certainly beef is beefier. Chicken's going to be lighter. So there's certain questions that you can ask to get an idea, and hopefully your tobacconist is not going to take too many chances with this. You just play it straight and you get something that's in the right vein for the person that you're buying for. But talk to your tobacconist.
So I ran across a small box of cigars a couple weeks ago. I was visiting my parents, Sarasota, Florida. There was a corner display. I happened to look. I said, that looks kind of like a cigar box. And then I went up to it and started to pull the top back, not expecting to see anything in there. Maybe some loose change, a paper clip or two, whatever. There's 2 or 3 cigars in there. By chance, the same brand that you were mentioning that's Cuban, Hoyo de Monterrey, but these were not made
Honduran.
in Cuba. Yeah, they were Honduran.
Yep.
My dad now regales me with, oh, there's still cigars in there, and they were varying vitolas. So, that started with the short one on the right, and it went to the longest one, whatever was in there on the left. And 2 or 3 were missing, but there was at least 2 in there. And I said, why is it like this? And he said, well, we bought those in the 1980s, like in Lake Placid during the Olympics. I said, do you still have them now? And he said, yeah, they've just been out. I don't even know who smoked those cigars that were in there that are no longer in there. And so, of course, immediately I'm starting to take pictures. I'm sending them to Mr. J. And I'm like, is this even something is this real? And if it's real, do I just need to immediately throw them away? Is there any way to bring them back to life? So I'm asking, I know the answer, but now I'm asking for people that might come across a cache of cigars, whatever that looks like, that we know hasn't seen a humidor in at least 10 years or longer. Is there a process to potentially bring them back to evaluate?
There is always a chance to bring cigars back from being too dry. If they were too wet and they were moldy, nothing you can do about it. If the wrapper split, there's nothing you can do about it. But if they dried out and shrunk a little, you can certainly bring those back. You go kind of slow and you get the cigars in the vicinity of 50, 55% humidity, and you can bring them up to 60 slowly. You could even leave them at 55 and just let them hang in there for a month, and they're smokable at that point. One way to check a cigar is, and mine's lit, so I can't do it on this one, but if you squeeze the foot and there's a little bounce to it, then the cigars are properly humidified. Even if they haven't been in a humidor, it's possible. This time of year, it's possible that they're already properly humidified. And if you go to squeeze it and it's kind of hard and it sort of feels a little like just compacted, dried leaves under humidified, and if they just squish down and it's spongy, it's over humidified. And if the wrapper hasn't split and they're over humidified, you can put them in a humidor that's 55, 60%, a couple months, let them calm down, and they'll come back to life. But if they were bought in the 80s Olympics,
yeah,
if they have any markings on them, that's just cool as shit to have in your humidor. Those are cigars I would never smoke and just have them to show people. If there's any markings, if it doesn't say 80s Olympics on them and it's just a cigar, smoke it. But
definitely no Olympic marking, but purchased up there as it was happening. So just, go to just happen to be strolling through Lake Placid cigar shop and, grab whatever that variety box of cigars was. So I'm going to give it a couple months, make sure it gets to like 60%. And the foot didn't look too bad. There was no splits on the wrapper or anything like that. So it was pretty geek to bring it back and stick it in my moisturizer and go from there after a couple months.
From the 1980s, there's not going to be a whole lot of flavor left in the cigars, even if they were kept in perfect humidity. For me, that's a story piece that you keep in the humidor where you have somebody over and you're going to offer them a cigar, but you're not offering them that cigar, but you have a chance to talk about how your parents got that at the 1980s Olympics at Lake Placid, and you found them and reconditioned them, and you're holding on to them because they remind you of your parents. That to me, that has more value than the smoking it and realizing that a cigar rolled in 1980s, which probably wasn't very good in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be devoid of any flavor it might have had. I think it's worth more as a story piece.
What's the oldest cigar you've brought back?
Probably only a couple of years, but Dave has some pre-embargo Cubans that a friend of a friend had, and the markings on the bundle looked correct, and he ran those markings by people that would have known, and everything looked correct for pre-embargo. So he brought those back. So that's before 1962.
Wow.
Maybe 1960 or 1959. And we it was a bundle of 50, so he cracked them open and we smoked one. Pretty flavorless. And again, it's one of those things where it's cooler to have the story to tell than the experience was of smoking it, because honestly, I would rather smoke a modern day Macanudo than light one of those up ever again.
So I bought a box of the Aladino Corojo Reserva Coronas, which are specialty box. And I noticed something. Delicious taste, a little different than the normal sizes of Robusto Toro that I would normally buy in that type of a brand. It's going out. I get it lit. I am typically aggressive on the light with the Reservas, especially because there's the Ligero up front there. So I will light a little bit more aggressively than some of the other cigars. But even at that, maybe in the first handful of minutes, I've noticed on the draw, not nearly the smoke production, and then I'll be on it and then think I got it back going again, only to potentially have that thing go back out on me. So what am I doing wrong?
It's nothing that you're doing wrong, except you're attempting to properly humidify that cigar. And this batch of Coronas just seems like they used a lot of Ligero, a lot of that high priming Corona leaves or Medio Tiempo, and they just hold moisture so much more prevalently than just regular Ligero. It's like a sponge to the environment. So for those, I have found that getting them into an environment somewhere in the 40s for a few days or even a few weeks, it's almost like you can't get them dry enough. Because I have a box behind me. Well, it's right behind my chair. There's probably 4 left in it, and they are now smoking unbelievable. And I bought it 2 months ago. And it's been in my smoking room. My straight up this way is my mini split, blowing dry, hot air right on them. And they're just now coming into their own with the last 4 left. But I've had the same issue with that Corona. They just need to be drier. The flavor's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you relight them like 5 times.
Why might I love the McAuliffe Reserva?
Listen, McAuliffe right now is firing on all cylinders. They have mastered being able to buy tobacco en masse, do their pre-industry work on it, get it so that it's ready, and be able to roll it into a variety of blends and go through all of their tobacco vintage at the same time. And their new stuff is just killing right now. It's an unbelievable value, and the flavor is there. Especially if there was like a flavor value matrix, they're a 10 or 11 out of 10 on the flavor, and a 10 or 11 out of value.
Yeah,
they're just honestly, I can't say enough about that company. Where that Rafael Nadal famously had said, if you want to make $1 million in the cigar industry, start with 2 million.
Yeah,
and McAuliffe has made a lot of mistakes, but they understand the logistics of industry, not just cigar industry, but industry in general. So they know how to buy, they know how to leverage, and they've got money. So they've learned all their lessons the hard way, and they are now just a well-oiled machine, and they're not coming out with subpar products. In fact, they're coming out with products that are punching well above their price point.
I got to be honest. I thought I was always going to be black number 1, red number 2. I think the green has usurped red as number 2. I'm shocked. I've never heard of that wrapper before in my life. I don't even remember what it is off the top of my head, but I was shocked.
Let's call it sun-grown. If the black is Maduro, the green is sun-grown. And I think that the green and the black are only a half a tick away from each other, and I still do prefer the black.
Yeah.
But if I'm smoking 3 blacks it's one green after that. So it's very, very good. And it's, for me, I prefer a fuller flavored, fuller bodied cigar. So it's right there, the green. But the black just edges it out, in my opinion.
Agreed. I'm black and then green and then really close. So I think, before it was 1A, 1B, black, red. And then with the entrance of green, it is 1 black and then 2A, 2B, probably green, and then red being the B. And I love the red. The other flavors, they don't offend me, but since I have 3 other ones that I like so much, like I know where my spending is going to happen from the color line. But I agree, they're a company that is really firing on all cylinders.
And I mean, for a $9 Toro, and by the box, it's under $8. And for the amount of flavor, and it's just amazing. And the people that don't want the strength, you can forget the green and the black. Put those aside.
Yep.
Purple, blue, and red. You're splitting hairs as far as I'm concerned. As far as strength, you're low, medium on all of them. And I know there's a difference in the wrappers, and I don't really care that much what the difference is. They're all kind of, for me, lumped in the same category. Where, all right, I don't like a cigar that's medium plus. I like early medium, or let's say mild plus. Purple, blue, and red, you've got a home. There's that is a cigar that was rolled and blended for the masses. All 3 of those colors. The green starts to take a chance, and the black definitely takes chances. And you've got to be that level of smoker to be able to appreciate it. But you talk about a company that, I mean, they made every mistake in the book once. And only once.
Yep.
And they've learned, and they're moving.
Mr. J, you've done it. You've completed a year of quarterly visits. I would ask, because I like to be nice, if we could have you back for quarterly visits 2026.
Of course.
Yes.
I love doing the show.
We'd love to hear. And we love you having your quarterly visits and getting all the updates in the cigar world. Tune in to the Cigar Authority every Saturday at noon. It's live on YouTube and some other live video platforms, or just subscribe to the show like you do right here on audio podcast. That's the way I listen to it, and enjoy at your leisure. Mr. J, always appreciate the time. I wish you a happy holiday season, and we will see you again in a couple months.
All right, Greg. Thanks so much.
You got it. Mr. J right there. Oh, he's a delight and so knowledgeable, and we love it. And he'll be back in 2026, and I'm excited about that. By the way, as luck would have it, I'm talking to you now about the aforementioned McAuliffe cigars. Step into the world of McAuliffe cigars, where each blend is a chapter and a grand tale of craftsmanship and passion. The portfolio, it's Mata Fina. That's the wrapper. Damn it, Matafina wrap. Their portfolio is a symphony of flavors, each note carefully composed to create an unforgettable Nicaraguan smoking experience. There is that color series like we talked about, the black, the blue, the red, the purple, the green. You visit McAuliffeCigars.com, use the dealer locator to find the dealer nearest you. And once again, it's McAuliffeCigars.com. McAuliffe is spelled MICALLEF. Cigars.com. We are back to wrap it up right after this. Nope. No, we have this. Big Papa Smokers. You know you love them. You know you want to do business with them. You know you love their rubs and all the other stuff. And right now they are offering you a very special deal running till the end of the year. So, whether you're chasing a grand championship, whether you're lighting up the holiday season, you can make all the gift bundles you want. GMG, MAK pellet grills, Big Papa Smokers, drum smoker. You can get $10 off your next order of $50 or more when you use the code REMPE at checkout, REMPE. Plus, for a limited time, every order gets a free bottle of Big Papa's Cucaracha. Little heat to spice up your holiday cheer, that's great. Visit BigPapaSmokers.com. Light up the holidays with bold flavors, legendary gear, and the gift that smokes the competition. Offers valid now through December 31st. And again, that's promo code REMPE at checkout to get $10 off your next order of $50 or more. Now we're back to wrap the show. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Let's get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Mr. J for joining us the last segment. Cigar Authority podcast show, and also the number 2 guys cigars.com. Email from Steve Ray. Don't know if you know him. YouTube channel Ember and Fork. The host name is Joe Stanfield. He's a pretty genuine and funny big guy, too. I read his Patreon page, and he's got a pretty good story about being nearly 600 pounds. What? His former college football player. I emailed him to try to get on my show. Haven't had any luck. He might answer your inquiry, though. Think it'd be a good interview. His email is XYZ. In one of his YouTube videos, he says, if you are in charge of the turkey this Thanksgiving, remember your family's not coming over to give thanks. They're coming over to judge. That's right. You know it. That happened to us a couple Thanksgivings ago, and then when we produced the turkey that was as moist as it gets, we've done the turkey ever since then. But, you know, like many things, when you don't know, you just don't know. And that's how you know. And sometimes you think you know, but you don't know. And you might never know. Even when you know, you never know. And that brings a close to this version's show this week. Remember, I'm going to get the best of that was supposed to be up last week on this week. So stay tuned for that. And we look back on Wednesday's show where we had a great interview with Robert Moss, robertfmoss.com. Sign up for the Q sheet. And of course, we ended the show this week, Thursday, today, with Mr. J doing some in-depth cigar talk, which is you seem to love. So you got a lot of great gift giving. You got a lot of great ideas for gifts to give me. Hopefully you paid special attention to anything he called Byron. And then that Winston lighter. You want to buy me a gift this holiday season? Bring it over. We will be back live and direct next week. That'll be week 3 of November, and then we got Thanksgiving after that. If you can believe it, we're already here. Wes Wright will be around. We'll see a Hay Grill Hay sighting as well, amongst others. So, how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying, Shalom! Shalom!
Chris Payne from Euclid, Ohio, and you are listening to Barbecue Central.